Coming up on VisionTV, how COVID-19 has affected students' mental health.
See the way teachers overcame the classroom during the pandemic.
How the NGU maintenance staff is still keeping our campus beautiful.
And learn how one of our peers is balancing college and her business. It's all next on VisionTV.
Hello and welcome to VisionTV News. I'm Taylor Deaton.
And I'm Hannah Pearson. This week the campus is buzzing over COVID, finals, and the end of a long semester.
We're nearly 1 week out from Christmas break, but for many students, the pressures of final exams, virtual classes, and COVID are bringing mental health concerns into the spotlight. Virtually and in person, North Greenville University students are feeling the pressure as finals and projects keep coming.
I decided to do a fake coffee roaster as my business strategy.
For students such as Partin, the combination of isolation and stress have made this semester more difficult for her.
Automatically, because of this, we're having to just be holed up all the time, and I'm so thankful that we had the opportunity to come back to school instead of having to stay online all semester, because that would have been so rough.
And if being stuck inside studying for the time being isn't bad enough, the Center for Disease Control reported that mental health conditions in 2020 were 3 times those reported in 2019 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Mental health conditions such as anxiety have increased with the added pressures that online classes bring.
Definitely much more difficult than a typical semester here.
Yeah, I would say the same. But this being my first semester here, it's definitely different with COVID and all. But online stuff and completing that, and then deadlines and just added on work that you never expected.
Mm-hmm. Personal counselor Sarah Black has seen an increase in mental health concerns when it comes to students and COVID-19.
But there have certainly been a lot of COVID stress related things that have been brought in counseling session. A lot of times students will let academia take center stage, especially during finals.
Black said that we have a semester of COVID behind us and it can only go up from here. Christmas is almost close enough to touch. Students just have to get through finals week.
North Greenville's fall commencement is no exception to new COVID regulations. Graduation will still be in Turner Chapel with overflow in Hamlin Recital Hall and Todd Dining Hall. Graduates are only allowed 2 tickets this year, and guests are required to wear face masks and social distance. Graduating senior Chloe Dalton says the setup is different and everyone won't have as many guests.
I'm kind of upset about that we only have 2 tickets. That's a big change because normally I think you get 4, and the fact that we only get 2 means that a lot of people are excluded.
NGU's consultant for public affairs, Lisa Van Riper, has been announced as a commencement speaker. There will be 3 ceremonies being held on Friday, December 11th.
We're at the end of an unusual semester for our teachers too. Bethany Fowler learned how professors made it through in the real and virtual world.
College professors spend every day teaching class in person.
Hello, everybody.
But this semester, professors juggled their time between in-person and the screen. A faculty and staff shortage because of COVID-19 landed health science professor David Pickett teaching personal fitness virtually just days before the semester started.
Hang out by your email a lot, be able to answer a lot of questions in terms of technology problems or just when assignments are due or just checking in with the students in general.
Pickett said since virtual classes aren't normal at North Greenville University, the most difficult thing for him was getting the students to commit.
Getting the students to really understand hey, this is how we do it online, this is when assignments are due, this is how you should communicate in your discussion boards.
Communications professor Ansley Welchel says most of her students attend classes in person, but there are a few who needed to go virtual. She wants to make sure all her students feel welcome.
Making sure that I'm speaking to both aspects through the camera as well as to having eye contact with the students that are in class.
Pickett and Welchel have learned how to accommodate to an ever-changing situation on their computer screens and in the classroom.
We've all had to learn. We've all had to find other solutions to accomplish our jobs.
Students will finish off these last days of the semester right where they started, in the desk or behind the screen. No matter the method, the North Greenville professors say they will continue to teach as long as the students are there to learn. Reporting in Tigerville, Bethany Fowler, VisionTV.
There's still more Vision TV ahead. See how NGU's maintenance staff is still keeping our campus beautiful even through COVID-19.
And what does the spring season look like for baseball? Ian Richings has the latest.
What if there were a place that you could distinguish yourself, where you could prepare for what you want to do and who you want to be? At North Greenville University, we offer you more than just a degree. You'll have the opportunity to grow your faith, develop relationships with new friends and faculty, and serve others while experiencing a vibrant student life. North Greenville University. Christ makes a difference.
As COVID numbers are growing around North Greenville University, campus enhancement is also doing its part to protect students, faculty, and staff.
You may just spot one of these vehicles, which belong to campus enhancement, who during this time have been doing their part to protect everyone on campus.
Have been very diligent to try to understand how best to protect the students, but also to allow the students to have as normal an experience as possible.
Mask up all around campus, make sure we're masking, make sure we're trying to practice social distancing.
Walking around the campus of North Greenville and going to different buildings, you will be sure to see many signs like this one right behind me. This is just one of the many implements put into place to keep students safe.
We've tried to recommend patterns of circulation, you know, which doors to come in, which ones to go out. Water fountains obviously have been shut down, and we've tagged them unless they have bottle fillers.
The piece of equipment that we use for labs and such, music departments, those things, keyboards, it's called a GUV. It's a lighting apparatus. It's a handheld unit, UV lighting basically, and it'll kill, I think it's 99.9999% of all germs within 2 seconds.
Executive Vice President Rich Grimm stated that from day one, we told everybody that we were not going to guarantee a COVID-19 free environment. Our hope has been to do a focused cleaning when it is possible to do so, but we also ask students, faculty, and staff to do their part.
Speaking of great jobs, here's Ian Richings with sports, or what's left of it.
Thanks, guys. You've heard 1,000 times about how different things have been because of COVID, but for Crusader baseball, there's so much more to it than just masks and thermometers.
Dillard Field may be empty, but the turf is still worn, hot off the heels of a full season of Crusader baseball. In order to have a season, athletes were required to take safety measures, such as wearing masks on the field and dugout, as well as required temperature checks. And, according to head coach Landon Powell, it wasn't that hard to get the team on board.
I would say everyone was pretty compliant, and we got to go out and play baseball, which is what most of these kids want to be doing. They want to be on a baseball field playing a game they love. So if they have a couple little minor inconveniences that, you know, they have to do, they're willing to do it.
Being about 8 months into the pandemic, stuff like this has kind of become the status quo. So could it really be the biggest strike on the team's experience this season? Well, according to one of the team captains, TREYCE BOUKNIGHT, the biggest problem isn't even in the same ballpark.
For me, the biggest difference between this year and years past was kind of some more of like the off the field stuff. Like we don't get to be as a team in the locker room or in the weight room. We kind of have to divide up more. And so it's been challenging to kind of get everybody out there at one time and get to know everybody.
6-year player Ethan Garner, the longest tenured member of the team, feels the same.
Especially with 55 guys on a team, like we have more players than we've ever had, like trying to get everyone like used to each other and not just like around each other, but like start growing like connections, like relationships between people.
Players can't meet off the field, so they work with what they're given.
If you come to one of our inter squads or practices, real laid back and we're all communicating and hanging out while we're still working hard, but it's still a real laid back atmosphere. We've had to capitalize on those moments more.
So for these Crusaders during these times, every moment together counts, even if they need to leave it all on the field.
Thanks for the sports update, Ian. And when we come back, there's still more ahead. See how one NGU student is running her small business.
It's up next on NGU Vision TV. Many college students are using their talents to their advantage by creating a small business. If one student in particular, her unknown talent turned into her passion.
When it comes to her photography, Sydney Hickert is better known as Sydney Jane, a college student who has turned a hobby into a business. Sydney realized early on that she didn't want to assist photographers, but would rather get behind the camera.
And then a couple times I suggested some shots. I was like, this would look so cool. Can we try dropping this veil, doing this, that? And he was like, you actually have a really good eye for this. Would you want to learn? I was like, absolutely.
Fast forward roughly 3 years later, and Sydney Jane photography is making a name for itself.
And over quarantines when it really started to pick up, I had a lot of extra time, so I just started diving into research on marketing and equipment and upgrading, and it's been taking off quickly.
Running her business while being a student is hard. She says the job is less about the pictures and more about the moments.
I know I moved at least once a year until high school. High school was the only place where I went to one school all the way through. And just having those moments, being able to look back is really special to me because things are changing all the time. So getting to capture other people's, like some of their favorite seasons of life of just full blessings, and I get to keep those for them, is so special.
While she enjoys each weekend spent capturing pictures, she knows that come Monday it is time to put the camera down and be a student again.
I'm Hannah Pearson.
And I'm Taylor Deaton. Thanks for watching.